the Jedi Order, guardians of peace, defenders of the galaxy, and a symbol of hope when the darkness closed in. For millennia, their glowing lightsabers cut through the shadows of despair, their wisdom guiding the Republic through times of chaos and uncertainty. We know their legends, tales of courage, sacrifice, and triumph etched into the stars. Yet, behind the grandeur and glory lies a tapestry woven with secrets, quiet heroics, and moments of unimaginable tragedy. The galaxy remembers names like Yoda, Obi-Wan Kenobi, and Anakin Skywalker, whose destinies shaped entire eras. But the Jedi Order was far more than its most famous figures. It was an intricate network of diverse individuals, teachers, warriors, healers, and strategists, each bringing their own unique strengths to the eternal fight against darkness. For every Jedi who became a legend, countless others worked in the shadows, making sacrifices that would go unnoticed by history books, but whose impact was no less profound. What were their lives like before they became legends or villains? What choices did they face when the Force presented them with paths riddled with uncertainty? And what can we learn from the untold moments that defined their journeys? In this galaxy-spanning exploration, we uncover the lives of Jedi whose stories are often overlooked. These are the Jedi who stood in the face of impossible odds, who questioned the very foundations of their beliefs, and who, in their victories and failures alike, shaped the galaxy as we know it. Their tales are not just about the battles they fought, but about the choices they made, the moments that tested their faith, their resolve, and their connection to the Force. These are the stories of loyalty, courage, and heartbreak, of wisdom and rebellion. Together, they paint a richer picture of the Jedi Order, one that goes beyond the surface of what we think we know. This is Hidden Jedi Lore, a journey into the forgotten corners of the galaxy and the untold stories of those who lived there. Let's begin. Ki-Adi-Mindi was not the sort of Jedi you'd forget easily, not with that distinctive elongated head of his and the calm, measured voice that seemed to cut through the noise of even the most heated debates. A Sarian Jedi Master who held a seat on the Jedi High Council, Ki-Adi-Mindi was a figure of quiet authority, a bastion of wisdom in a galaxy that often teetered on the edge of chaos. While he wasn't as flashy as Anakin Skywalker or as enigmatic as Yoda, his contributions to the Jedi Order and the Republic were just as significant. You see, Ki-Adi-Mindi wasn't just known for his combat skills or his mastery of the Force. What set him apart was his binary brain, a unique Sirian trait that allowed him to think in ways most beings couldn't. This dual brain structure gave him the ability to analyze situations from multiple perspectives at once, a skill that served him well both on and off the battlefield. Whether it was a tense council meeting or a critical military campaign, Ki-Adi-Mindi was the voice of reason, the calm in the storm. But who was the Jedi behind the wisdom? To understand the full story of Ki-Adi-Mindi, we need to look at where he came from, what he stood for, and how he met his end. From the moment he joined the Jedi High Council, Ki-Adi-Mindi made his mark as one of its most thoughtful and analytical members. Standing at an imposing 6 feet 6 inches, with his blue-bladed lightsaber always close at hand, he was a symbol of Jedi tradition, calm, logical, and deeply conservative in his approach to the Order's teachings. He was the kind of Jedi who thought things through, often questioning rapid change or improbable scenarios. When others let emotion cloud their judgment, Ki-Adi-Mindi relied on logic and reason to guide him. But this wasn't to say he was cold or detached. Beneath that composed exterior was a Jedi who cared deeply about the galaxy and its inhabitants. He believed in the Jedi Code with every fiber of his being, and his decisions, however cautious they may have seemed, always stemmed from a desire to protect the greater good. When the Clone Wars erupted, Ki-Adi-Mindi's role expanded far beyond the council chambers. Like many Jedi, he became a general in the Grand Army of the Republic, leading clone troopers into battle against the Separatists. Among his most notable campaigns was the Second Battle of Geonosis, where he fought alongside other legendary Jedi like Obi-Wan Kenobi and Anakin Skywalker. Commanding the 21st Nova Corps, Ki-Adi-Mindi proved himself to be a brilliant tactician, capable of adapting to the unpredictable chaos of war. Despite his naturally calm demeanor, Ki-Adi-Mindi was a force to be reckoned with on the battlefield. His combat skills were sharp, precise, and calculated, every move made with purpose. Clone troopers under his command respected him not just for his leadership, but for his courage. He didn't lead from the back lines. He was right there with his troops, lightsaber blazing, standing shoulder to shoulder with the soldiers who looked up to him. It was during the Clone Wars that Ki-Adi-Mindi's skepticism became both a strength and a challenge. For example, when the Sith were first reported to have returned, he initially doubted their resurgence, a position that reflected his logical nature. After all, the Sith had been thought extinct for centuries. Yet, as events unfolded, he adapted, recognizing the growing threat and dedicating himself to combating it. Ki-Adi-Mindi was present for some of the most pivotal moments in Jedi history. He stood in the council chambers when Qui-Gon-Jinn introduced a young Anakin Skywalker, declaring him the chosen one of prophecy. True to form, Ki-Adi-Mindi approached the matter with caution, raising questions about Anakin's age and the danger of training someone with such a powerful connection to the Force. While others were swept up in the excitement of the prophecy, Ki-Adi-Mindi's steady voice reminded everyone of the risks involved. He also played a crucial role in the mission to rescue Obi-Wan Kenobi and Anakin on Geonosis, a rescue that ultimately ignited the Clone Wars. During those turbulent years, he helped shape critical decisions, often weighing in on strategies and plans that would impact the entire galaxy. His influence was felt not just in the Council's decisions, but in the way he carried himself, calm, deliberate, and always striving to see the bigger picture. By the end of the Clone Wars, Ki-Adi-Mindi found himself stationed on Megiddo, leading the 21st Nova Corps as part of the Outer Rim sieges. It was a brutal campaign, one that tested his resolve and the loyalty of the clone troopers under his command. But even then, he remained steadfast, embodying the ideals of the Jedi Order. And then came Order 66. When the directive was issued, the clones who had fought alongside Ki-Adi-Mindi turned on him without hesitation. In a moment of betrayal that echoed across the galaxy, Ki-Adi-Mindi was ambushed by his own troops. But he didn't go down without a fight. Lightsaber in hand, he managed to deflect several blaster bolts, holding his ground with the same bravery and determination that had defined his life. Eventually, though, the overwhelming odds proved too much, and the Jedi Master fell in battle. Ki-Adi-Mindi's story doesn't end with his death. His legacy lives on, both in the Jedi Order's history and in the hearts of those who remember him. His lightsaber, a symbol of his dedication to the Jedi way, survived long after he was gone, becoming a prized collector's item and a reminder of his enduring impact. As one of the more traditional members of the Jedi Council, Ki-Adi-Mindi represented the conservative values of the Order, values that emphasized wisdom, logic, and a deep commitment to the greater good. Yet he was also a warrior, someone who understood that protecting peace sometimes required stepping into the chaos of war. He wasn't perfect. None of the Jedi were. But his story reminds us of what it means to live with conviction. Whether it was through his role on the Council, his leadership during the Clone Wars, or his final moments on Magito, Ki-Adi-Mindi exemplified the best of what the Jedi stood for: courage, wisdom, and an unyielding belief in the light. Ki-Adi-Mindi may not be as celebrated as some of the other Jedi Masters, but his life is a testament to the quiet strength that defines true heroism. He combined intellectual insight with remarkable combat prowess, leaving behind a legacy that continues to inspire those who seek peace in a galaxy filled with turmoil. Until his final breath, he remained dedicated to the ideals of the Jedi Order, a reminder that even in the darkest times, the light of the Jedi endures. When you think of a Jedi Master, you probably imagine someone calm and composed, exuding wisdom and strength. But Kit Fisto, he brought something extra to the table: a smile. Always calm under pressure, with an ever-present grin that could brighten even the darkest of battles. Kit Fisto was the kind of Jedi who made you feel like everything might just turn out okay. A Nautolan from the watery world of Qui-Gon-Jinn, his green skin and tentacle-like head appendages made him instantly recognizable. But it was his warm personality and undeniable skill with a lightsaber that truly set him apart. At 6 feet 5 inches, Kit Fisto was both an imposing figure and a calming presence. Whether in the halls of the Jedi Temple or the chaos of a battlefield, he stood out not just for his unique appearance, but for the balance he brought to every situation. In a galaxy constantly teetering on the edge of despair, Kit's unshakable optimism and confidence reminded everyone around him of the light they were fighting to protect. Kit Fisto wasn't just a Jedi Master. He was a symbol of what the Jedi Order aspired to be. Laid back and good-humored, he brought an ease to his interactions with others, whether they were fellow Jedi, Padawans, or even the soldiers under his command. His analytical mind allowed him to see solutions where others saw problems, and his patience made him an excellent teacher. Those who trained under him, like his Padawan Nadar Vabe, admired his wisdom and calm demeanor. But don't let his good-natured personality fool you into thinking he wasn't a fierce warrior. Kit could switch from light-hearted mentor to deadly combatant in an instant. And yet, even in the heat of battle, he maintained his composure. He didn't fight out of anger or fear, but out of a deep-seated commitment to protecting the galaxy. As a Nautolan, Kit had abilities that most Jedi could only dream of. Growing up in the aquatic environment of Qui-Gon-Jinn, he developed unparalleled swimming skills, and his connection to water became a key element of his identity. In both aquatic and terrestrial battles, Kit's adaptability and unique abilities made him a formidable force. Kit Fisto's contributions to the Jedi Order were as impressive as they were varied. He served on the Jedi High Council, survived the infamous First Battle of Geonosis, and trained Nadar Veb to knighthood, no small feat in an era of growing darkness. Few Jedi could claim to have survived a duel with General Grievous, but Kit Fisto did, His mastery of the Force, combined with his skill in Form 1 and Form 4 lightsaber combat, allowed him to hold his own against even the deadliest opponents. Kit's underwater campaigns were particularly legendary. Whether leading the charge on Mon Cala or executing delicate operations in submerged environments, he leveraged his Nautolan physiology to devastating effect. His ability to manipulate water currents through the Force gave him an edge in aquatic battles, turning the tide quite literally in the Republic's favor. His combat prowess and reliability earned him the trust of Mace Windu, who selected him for some of the Jedi Order's most critical missions. Kit's ability to remain calm and resourceful under pressure made him an invaluable asset to the Jedi, no matter the challenge. Kit Fisto's story is punctuated by moments of heroism and sacrifice. At the first battle of Geonosis, Kit Fisto was among the Jedi who survived the Separatist ambush that marked the beginning of the Clone Wars. His green lightsaber shone brightly amid the chaos as he fought valiantly alongside his comrades against overwhelming droid forces. One of his most notable missions was the confrontation with General Grievous on Vasek III. Kit, accompanied by his Padawan Nadar Veb, faced the ruthless cyborg in a battle that tested both his physical skills and his emotional control. While the mission ended in tragedy with the loss of Nadar, it showcased Kit's resilience and ability to adapt even in the face of devastating loss. Kit also played a key role in the Battle of Mon Cala, where his aquatic abilities gave the Republic a crucial advantage. Diving headfirst into the fight, he coordinated with local forces to repel Separatist attacks, demonstrating his ability to combine strategy with raw combat skill. Other missions, like the defense of the Jedi Temple and his time on Hisrish with Mace Windu's squad, further solidified his reputation as one of the Order's most capable Jedi. Each mission showed a different side of Kit, the warrior, the strategist, the protector. When it came to combat, Kit Fisto was in a league of his own. A master of Form 1 lightsaber combat, he could dispatch multiple opponents with fluid sweeping strikes. He also incorporated elements of Form 4, a style known for its acrobatic movements, making him unpredictable and highly effective in duels. His underwater combat skills were unparalleled. Whether in murky depths or raging seas, Kit's control over his environment was unmatched. He used the Force to manipulate water currents, turning the very elements around him into weapons. His expertise in hand-to-hand combat added another layer to his versatility, ensuring that he was never defenseless, no matter the situation. Kit Fisto's life came to a tragic yet heroic end in one of the most critical moments of galactic history. When Mace Windu led a team of 4 Jedi Masters to confront Darth Sidious, Kit was among those chosen. But even Kit's exceptional skill wasn't enough to overcome the might of Darth Sidious. He fell in battle, giving his life for the cause he had dedicated himself to. Kit Fisto's legacy is one of courage, optimism, and unwavering dedication. He wasn't just a warrior. He was a reminder of what it meant to live with hope and purpose, even in the face of overwhelming darkness. His lightsaber, which survived long after his death, serves as a tangible reminder of his service and sacrifice. He proved that a Jedi could be both a fierce combatant and a light-hearted soul, showing that strength isn't just about power, it's about heart. Kit's life was a testament to the ideals of the Jedi Order, and his story continues to inspire those who seek to bring light to a galaxy filled with shadows. Kit Fisto's smile was more than a quirk. It was a reflection of the hope he carried into every battle, every mission, and every decision. He was a warrior, a teacher, and a friend to all who knew him. His life reminds us that even in the darkest times, there is room for joy, for connection, and for the belief that good will ultimately prevail. Kit Fisto was a Jedi Master in every sense of the word, and his legacy lives on as a beacon of light in a galaxy far, far away. Graceful, fierce, and deeply compassionate, Aayla Secura was a Twi'lek Jedi Master and a symbol of everything the Jedi aspired to be. With striking blue skin and hazel eyes, she was instantly recognizable, but it was her wisdom and strength that left a lasting impression. Standing at about 5 feet 7 inches tall, she balanced agility and precision with a heart committed to service. Born on the planet Ryloth, she rose from humble beginnings to become a Jedi Master renowned for her leadership, skill, and unwavering dedication to the Republic. Her journey wasn't just one of physical prowess. It was a testament to her inner strength. A skilled fighter and a compassionate leader, her story reminds us of the balance a Jedi must maintain between power and humility. Aayla Secura's path to the Jedi Order began in the harsh landscapes of Ryloth, where she was discovered by Jedi Master Quinlan Vos. Recognizing her Force sensitivity, Vos brought her to Coruscant for training, rescuing her from a life of hardship. Under his mentorship, she not only honed her abilities with the Force, but also developed a keen sense of balance, learning how to manage emotional connections while adhering to the Jedi Code. Her connection with Vos was more than just that of teacher and student. It was a bond forged through trust and understanding. She carried those lessons with her as she advanced through the Jedi ranks, transitioning from Padawan to Knight and ultimately to Master. Her journey was a testament to her dedication, discipline, and the strength of her character. Known for her elegance in combat, Aayla Secura wielded her lightsaber with a combination of athleticism and skill that few could match. Specializing in Form 4, she turned the battlefield into her domain, using acrobatics and swift strikes to outmaneuver her opponents. Her fighting style wasn't just effective, it was an art form, blending aerial maneuvers with grounded techniques to create a seamless flow of motion. Her expertise wasn't limited to lightsaber combat. She was adept at hand-to-hand fighting and used her sharp mind to outthink her enemies. Her movements were deliberate and calculated, a reflection of her tactical mindset. Whether in close quarters or vast open spaces, she adapted to her environment with ease, making her a formidable presence on any battlefield. During the Clone Wars, she took command of the 327th Star Corps, leading them in some of the most critical campaigns of the conflict. From the First Battle of Geonosis to the defense of Maridun, her leadership was defined by her ability to balance strategy with compassion. She worked closely with her troops, always ensuring their safety was a priority, even in the most dangerous missions. Her partnership with Commander Bly stood out as a prime example of trust between Jedi and clones. Together, they navigated the challenges of war, coordinating efforts to protect the Republic. One mission that exemplified her leadership was the rescue of survivors on Maridun, where she risked everything to save lives. These acts of courage made her not just a commander, but a symbol of hope for those who fought alongside her. What set her apart wasn't just her skill in combat, it was her philosophy. She firmly believed in the Jedi principle of selflessness, always choosing to prioritize the greater good. Balancing duty with empathy, she became a voice of calm and reason in the chaos of war. Her ability to make difficult decisions while staying true to her values earned her the respect of Jedi and soldiers alike. Her teaching extended beyond the battlefield. She often reminded her peers and students of the importance of letting go of attachments, not as a denial of emotion, but as a way to serve without bias. Her compassion wasn't a weakness, it was her strength. In every mission, her actions reflected a deep understanding of the responsibility that came with her power. In the final days of the Clone Wars, she was stationed on Felucia, leading the 327th Star Corps in the Outer Rim sieges. The vibrant jungle planet, with its towering fungi and alien flora, became the setting for her tragic end. When Order 66 was executed, the clone troopers she had trusted turned against her without warning. Despite the betrayal, Aayla Secura faced her final moments with the same courage she had shown throughout her life. Surrounded and outnumbered, she fell in battle, her blue lightsaber extinguished for the last time. Her death was swift, but left an echo that would not soon fade from the hearts of those who knew her. Her story is not just one of war and loss. It's a story of resilience, compassion, and the strength to fight for what is right. She showed that a Jedi's true power comes not from their lightsaber, but from their ability to inspire others and uphold the values they hold dear. Her legacy lives on as a reminder of what the Jedi stood for, even in their darkest hour. Though her time was cut short, her actions left an indelible mark on the galaxy. From her skill as a warrior to her wisdom as a leader, she exemplified what it meant to be a Jedi. Her life was proof that even in the face of overwhelming odds, one person's courage and compassion can make all the difference. In the waning days of the Republic, few Jedi embodied the discipline, control, and unwavering sense of duty of Luminara Unduli. A Myrialan Jedi master with striking green skin and intricate facial tattoos, she stood out not only for her serene demeanor, but for the quiet authority she carried into every battle, negotiation, and mission. Standing at 5 feet 9 inches, she was a figure of calm amidst the chaos of war. Her green-bladed lightsaber a symbol of the light she tirelessly upheld. Luminara wasn't just a warrior. She was a philosopher, a teacher, and a paragon of what the Jedi Order stood for. She approached every situation with a methodical mind and a calm heart, showing unwavering faith in the Jedi Code and its principles. To truly understand her story is to delve into the life of a Jedi who valued discipline, preparation, and sacrifice above all else. From the beginning of her training, Luminara Unduli exemplified the balance between compassion and duty that the Jedi Order sought to cultivate. As a Myrialan, she shared a deep spiritual connection with her people, whose traditions emphasized discipline and self-control, values that aligned perfectly with the Jedi philosophy. Her facial tattoos, each one earned through significant milestones, reflected not only her heritage, but her commitment to personal growth and mastery. Luminara's personality was defined by her calm composure. While she was often serious and focused, those who knew her well appreciated her dry sense of humor, which occasionally surfaced even in the most intense situations. She was the kind of Jedi who saw the bigger picture, balancing emotional restraint with a genuine care for the people and troops under her protection. Her methods were strict but effective. Whether preparing for a mission or training her Padawan, Barriss Offee, she emphasized thorough planning and the importance of patience. This disciplined approach earned her a reputation as a Jedi who rarely acted without careful consideration, a quality that made her a natural leader during the turbulent years of the Clone Wars. As a mentor, Luminara's influence was profound. She took Barriss Offee under her wing, guiding the young Mirialan through the trials and tribulations of Jedi training. Their bond was strong, built on mutual respect and a shared commitment to their heritage and the Jedi Code. Luminara's teaching style was strict but fair, emphasizing the importance of emotional control and self-discipline. She believed that a Jedi's strength came not only from their connection to the Force, but from their ability to master their own emotions. Her role as a commander in the Grand Army of the Republic further showcased her leadership abilities. She led the 41st Elite Corps through numerous campaigns, standing alongside her clone troopers with unwavering resolve. Unlike some Jedi who struggle to connect with their troops, Luminara earned the respect of her soldiers through her calm, strategic mind and her willingness to lead from the front. Luminara's combat record during the Clone Wars reads like a catalogue of some of the most pivotal battles of the era. She fought valiantly in the First Battle of Geonosis, where she demonstrated her mastery of Form 3 lightsaber combat. Known as Sorisu, this defensive style allowed her to deflect even the most relentless attacks, turning an opponent's aggression against them. Her precision and flexibility made her a formidable presence on the battlefield, whether against droids or dark side adversaries. One of her most notable confrontations was with Asajj Ventress, the deadly Sith apprentice who became a persistent thorn in the Republic's side. Luminara's duels with Ventress were battles of wit and skill, showcasing her ability to remain composed even in the face of overwhelming hostility. These encounters were more than physical clashes. They were tests of her resolve and her ability to outthink an opponent who thrived on chaos. Luminara also played a critical role in the Second Battle of Geonosis, where she led Republic forces alongside Anakin Skywalker and Obi-Wan Kenobi. It was here that she encountered Queen Karina the Great, the Geonosian matriarch responsible for creating an army of mind-controlled zombie-like warriors. The Clone Wars tested Luminara Unduli in ways that few could have anticipated. Her former Padawan, Barriss Offee, betrayed the Jedi Order, orchestrating a bombing of the Jedi Temple that shook the galaxy's faith in the Order. For Luminara, this betrayal was not just a personal loss. It was a moment that challenged her beliefs and her ability to trust. Despite this emotional blow, she continued to serve the Republic with unwavering dedication. On the forested planet of Kashyyyk, she fought alongside the Wookiees in defense of their homeworld, leading her troops with the same meticulous planning and courage that had defined her career. Each battle, each mission was a test of her strength and her ability to hold true to the ideals of the Jedi. Luminara's abilities extended beyond the battlefield. She was an accomplished diplomat, skilled in navigating the delicate negotiations that often preceded or prevented conflict. Her mind-probing techniques, a rare and highly advanced application of the Force, allowed her to extract information from even the most resistant minds. This skill, combined with her ability to remain calm under pressure, made her an invaluable asset in missions requiring both finesse and strength. Her physical flexibility was another hallmark of her training. Years of disciplined practice had honed her body to perform feats of agility and precision that seemed almost superhuman. Whether leaping across a battlefield or engaging in hand-to-hand combat, Luminara's movements were a reflection of her dedication to mastery in all things. Luminara's life came to a tragic end during the execution of Order 66, Stationed on Kashyyyk, she fought valiantly alongside her clone troopers until the moment of betrayal. The soldiers she had trusted, the very ones she had led into battle, turned on her without hesitation. Though her fate was sealed, she faced her final moments with the same dignity and composure that had defined her life. In the years that followed, the Empire twisted her memory into a tool of deception, using recordings of her to lure surviving Jedi into traps. This perversion of her legacy was a stark reminder of the darkness that had overtaken the galaxy. Yet, her true legacy lived on in the hearts of those who remembered her as a paragon of discipline, wisdom, and strength. Even long after her death, Luminara's voice was among those that guided Rey during her confrontation with Emperor Palpatine, a testament to the enduring impact of her connection to the Force. Her teachings and her example continued to inspire new generations, proving that her light had not been extinguished, even in the face of the Empire's cruelty. Luminara Unduli was more than a warrior. She was a symbol of the Jedi Order's highest ideals. Through discipline, preparation, and an unshakable commitment to justice, she navigated the challenges of a galaxy at war. Her life was marked by sacrifice, her death by betrayal, but her legacy endures as a reminder of what it means to live with purpose and integrity. For those who seek to understand the true strength of the Jedi, her story stands as a beacon of resilience and hope. Barriss Offee's story is one of contrasts: hope and disillusionment, loyalty and betrayal, light and darkness. A Mirialan born in 40 BBY, she began her journey as a devoted Jedi Padawan, destined to carry on the noble traditions of her people and the Jedi Order. With olive skin and intricate tattoos symbolizing personal milestones, she embodied the serene discipline for which Mirialans were known. Standing at 5 feet 5 inches, Barriss was unassuming in stature, but formidable in skill. She combined sharp intellect with advanced healing abilities, balancing her combat training with a deep connection to the Force. Yet, for all her promise, her path took a dark and unexpected turn, leaving her as one of the most complex and tragic figures of the Clone Wars. Barriss's introduction to the Jedi Order was almost serendipitous. Born aboard a starliner in deep space, she was discovered as an infant and brought to the Jedi Temple on Coruscant. Her sensitivity to the Force was evident from an early age, even catching the attention of Master Yoda during one of her first demonstrations at just 3 years old. As she grew, her potential became undeniable. Under the mentorship of Jedi Master Luminara Unduli, Barriss flourished. Luminara, herself a disciplined and patient teacher, introduced her Padawan to the traditions of their shared Mirialan heritage. Through rigorous training and meditation, Barriss internalized the principles of the Jedi Code, mastering emotional control and the art of combat. At the age of 16, she built her first lightsaber, a blue-bladed weapon that became a symbol of her growing confidence and capability. Barriss Offee was far more than a fighter. She was a healer, known for her ability to channel the Force to mend wounds and ease suffering. During the Clone Wars, she served in medical facilities, often choosing to spend her time caring for the injured rather than seeking glory on the battlefield. This duality, her skill as both a warrior and a healer, set her apart within the Jedi ranks. Her combat training, heavily influenced by Luminara, focused on the Soresu form of lightsaber combat. This defensive style emphasized patience and precision, traits that aligned with her measured personality. When she fought alongside her master, their synchronous movements were a seamless blend of strategy and grace, reflecting the depth of their bond. Barriss's accomplishments during the war were significant. She played a crucial role in defending the crystal caves of Ilum, where she protected the sacred Kyber crystals from separatist forces. She later teamed up with Ahsoka Tano to destroy a droid factory on Geonosis, showcasing her tactical thinking and unwavering determination. These missions solidified her reputation as a capable and dedicated Jedi Knight, and her eventual promotion to that rank during the war seemed a natural progression. The relationship between Barriss and her master was one of mutual respect. But as the Clone Wars wore on, cracks began to form. The war's relentless violence and the Jedi Order's increasing involvement in military operations troubled Barriss deeply. Her Myrialan upbringing had instilled in her a reverence for tradition and balance, and she began to feel that the Jedi were straying too far from their purpose as peacekeepers. Luminara, ever disciplined and focused on duty, didn't share her Padawan's growing doubts. This difference in perspective created an unspoken tension between them, though it didn't diminish their effectiveness as a team. Together, they continued to take on critical missions, but Barriss's internal conflict grew with each passing day. For Barriss, the Clone Wars represented more than just a galactic conflict. It was a moral crisis. She believed the Jedi had become tools of the Republic's war machine, betraying their own values in the process. As her disillusionment deepened, her once unshakable faith in the Jedi Order began to crumble. Her breaking point came in the form of an unthinkable act. Barriss orchestrated a bombing at the Jedi Temple, a move that killed innocent people and sent shockwaves through the galaxy. Her motivations were rooted in her belief that the Jedi themselves had become corrupt, but her actions were far from justifiable. To compound her betrayal, she framed her close friend Ahsoka Tano for the crime, setting in motion a series of events that would forever alter the lives of both women. Barriss's deception was ultimately uncovered, but not before it led to Ahsoka's trial and near expulsion from the Jedi Order. Her capture marked a dramatic turning point. In a fierce duel with Anakin Skywalker, Barriss wielded dual lightsabers with a level of skill and ferocity that underscored the depth of her fall. Yet even as she fought, there was an undercurrent of desperation, a sense that she believed her actions were necessary, even if they were wrong. Overpowered by Skywalker's raw strength, Barriss was subdued and brought before the Council to face judgment. In a passionate confession during Ahsoka's trial, she condemned the Jedi Order for losing its way, accusing them of hypocrisy and blind allegiance to the Republic. Her words struck a chord, forcing the Jedi to confront uncomfortable truths, even as they rejected her actions. Barriss Offee's betrayal left scars that extended far beyond her own fate. Her actions directly led to Ahsoka's departure from the Jedi Order, a decision that would have profound implications for the galaxy's future. For Ahsoka, the ordeal was a bitter confirmation of the doubts she had already begun to feel about the Jedi. To many, Barriss became a symbol of the Order's internal struggles, a stark reminder of how war could twist even the most devout. Her story revealed the cracks within the Jedi's foundation, showing how their ideals could be undermined by the realities of a galaxy consumed by conflict. Yet, despite her fall, Barriss's actions forced the Jedi to confront their shortcomings, planting seeds of reflection that would echo long after the Clone Wars ended. What makes Barriss's story so compelling is its complexity. She wasn't motivated by ambition or thirst for power, but by a misguided sense of righteousness. Her critique of the Jedi Order wasn't entirely unfounded. Their increasing militarization and detachment from the people they swore to protect were real concerns. But her methods, driven by extremism and betrayal, overshadowed any validity in her arguments. Barriss Offee's fall serves as a cautionary tale about the dangers of idealism taken to extremes. She wanted to fix what she saw as a broken system, but ended up breaking herself in the process. Her story is a reminder that even the most well-intentioned actions can lead to tragedy when they are carried out without compassion or accountability. Barriss Offee's journey from a dedicated Padawan to a fallen Jedi is a tragic arc that underscores the moral complexity of the Clone Wars. Her story is a mirror held up to the Jedi Order, reflecting both its strengths and its flaws. While her betrayal cannot be excused, it forces us to consider the cost of unwavering ideals in a world where the line between right and wrong is increasingly blurred. For better or worse, Barriss Offee left a mark on the galaxy. Her actions reshaped the lives of those around her, and her story remains a haunting reminder of the choices that define us, even when they lead to our downfall. Plo Koon was the kind of Jedi whose presence brought reassurance in the most chaotic of times. Standing at 6 feet 2 inches, this Kel-Dor Jedi Master from the windswept world of Dorin wasn't just a towering figure physically. He carried with him an aura of calm, wisdom, and unshakable compassion. His deep voice, filtered through the breath mask he required to survive in oxygen-rich atmospheres, was as steady and deliberate as his actions. For those who served alongside him, Plo Koon wasn't just a leader. He was a guardian in every sense of the word. A member of the Jedi High Council, he was known for his balanced judgment, his exceptional skill as a pilot and warrior, and most of all, his deep care for every life he encountered. In an era when the Jedi Order was increasingly entangled in the complexities of war, Plo Koon stood out as a reminder of the Order's true purpose: to protect, to guide, and to serve. Plo Koon's reputation among his peers and allies was built not just on his abilities, but on the way he treated others. He was level-headed, unflappable, and always calm under pressure. But beneath that composed exterior was a heart deeply attuned to the suffering of others. Whether it was a frightened child, a wounded soldier, or even an enemy, Plo Koon approached every being with dignity and respect. One of the most notable aspects of his character was his connection with clone troopers. While many Jedi viewed the clones as tools of war, Plo Koon saw them as individuals. His words to his troops, "You are not expendable to me," became a defining sentiment that set him apart from other commanders. This respect earned him the unwavering loyalty of the Wolf Pack, a group of elite clone troopers led by Commander Wolf, who held him in the highest regard. Plo Koon's compassion extended far beyond the battlefield. It was this quality that led him to one of his most enduring legacies, the discovery of Ahsoka Tano. When Ahsoka was just 3 years old, Plo Koon recognized her Force sensitivity and brought her to the Jedi Temple. He saw not just her potential, but the spirit and strength that would one day make her one of the galaxy's greatest heroes. Even as Ahsoka's formal training was handed over to Anakin Skywalker, her bond with Plo Koon remained strong. She often referred to him affectionately as Master Plo, and their relationship served as a foundation for her resilience and growth. In many ways, Plo Koon's mentorship helped shape the values that Ahsoka carried with her long after she left the Jedi Order. Plo Koon's career was marked by a relentless dedication to the Jedi principles. As a skilled pilot, he was often found at the helm of a Delta-7 starfighter, leading daring missions in the Clone Wars. His strategic mind made him an invaluable asset in key battles, including the campaign against the Malevolence, a colossal separatist warship capable of devastating entire fleets. Plo Koon led the defense of the Khalida Shoals Medical Center during this campaign, a mission that showcased both his tactical brilliance and his determination to protect the vulnerable. Another highlight of his service was the hunt for Boba Fett, during which he partnered with Ahsoka Tano. This mission exemplified his ability to balance the rigors of war with the mentoring of young Jedi, as he guided Ahsoka through the complexities of pursuing justice while remaining true to the Jedi Code. Plo Koon's combat abilities extended beyond the cockpit. He was a skilled lightsaber duelist, wielding his blue blade with precision and strength. His mastery of the Force, particularly telekinesis, allowed him to perform extraordinary feats, including surviving briefly in the vacuum of space, a testament to the resilience and adaptability of the Kel Dor species. As a general in the Grand Army of the Republic, Plo Koon commanded the 442nd Siege Battalion, leading them through some of the most intense campaigns of the Clone Wars. His leadership was marked by a balance of strategic brilliance and deep empathy. Unlike some Jedi who kept their troops at arm's length, Plo Koon was known for forging strong bonds with his soldiers. He understood their struggles and made it clear that they were more than just numbers in the Republic's war machine. One of his most famous missions was the rescue of survivors trapped in the wreckage of a destroyed fleet during the Malevolence campaign. Against all odds, Plo Koon and the Wolf Pack ventured into hostile territory to save those who had been left for dead. It was a mission that highlighted his courage and his unyielding commitment to the lives of his comrades. Like so many Jedi, Plo Koon's life was cut short by the devastating betrayal of Order 66. During the final days of the Clone Wars, he was stationed on Cato Neimoidia, leading his troops in the siege of the Separatist stronghold. Piloting his Delta-7 starfighter, Plo Koon was in the midst of an aerial assault when his clone troopers, following the Emperor's command, turned against him. The betrayal was swift and absolute. As his starfighter was targeted by friendly fire, Plo Koon's life ended in the very skies he had so often protected. It was a tragic conclusion for a Jedi who had dedicated his life to the ideals of compassion and service. Plo Koon's influence didn't end with his death. His actions, his teachings, and the bonds he formed left an indelible mark on those who knew him. Ahsoka Tano, in particular, carried forward the values he instilled in her, using them to guide her through her own trials after leaving the Jedi Order. The Wolf Pack, though forced to obey Order 66, remembered him as a leader who treated them with unparalleled respect and humanity. Beyond his personal connection, Plo Koon represented the best of what the Jedi Order could be. His calm wisdom and compassion served as a reminder that strength is not just about power, but about understanding, kindness, and the ability to inspire others. In a galaxy that often seemed consumed by darkness, he was a light that refused to be extinguished. Plo Koon's story is one of quiet heroism and profound impact. He wasn't the loudest voice in the Jedi Council or the flashiest warrior on the battlefield, but his presence was felt in every life he touched. Through his unwavering compassion, his strategic mind, and his ability to lead with both strength and empathy, Plo Koon exemplified the ideals of the Jedi Order. His life may have ended in betrayal, but his legacy endures as a testament to the enduring power of kindness and courage in the face of adversity. Few Jedi could rival Qui-Gon-Jinn's reputation for challenging the status quo. Towering at 6 feet 4 inches, he brought a commanding presence, but it was his unwavering belief in the living force that truly set him apart. Born on Coruscant around 80 BBY, he was immersed in the Order's teachings from a young age. Yet, his outlook evolved into something more fluid, more intuitive than most of his peers could understand. A student of Count Dooku, Qui-Gon inherited his master's sharp intellect, but rejected Dooku's eventual descent into darkness. His legacy would instead be defined by his refusal to compromise on his principles, even when it meant defying the Jedi Council. The Force was more than a tool or a creed to Qui-Gon. It was a constant living presence guiding every action. He emphasized the importance of the present, choosing to focus on what the Force revealed in the moment rather than obsessing over the future. While other Jedi often got lost in the grand schemes of the galaxy, he grounded himself in what could be felt, heard, and seen in the here and now. His approach wasn't without its conflicts. The Jedi Council, though respectful of his skills, often clashed with his interpretations of the code. Qui-Gon prioritized the spirit of the Jedi teachings over their rigid enforcement, seeing value in nuance and adaptability. This perspective earned him a reputation as a maverick, though it also made him a beacon of wisdom for those willing to listen. Qui-Gon's compassion extended to all life forms, no matter how insignificant they might seem to others. He saw the Force as an interconnected web binding every being in the galaxy, and he treated every life with dignity. Whether negotiating with stubborn diplomats or freeing slaves on Tatooine, his actions spoke to his deep understanding of the Force's true purpose. The discovery of Anakin Skywalker remains one of his most defining moments. While others hesitated to accept the boy's potential due to his unconventional background and age, Qui-Gon saw something extraordinary in him. To Qui-Gon, Anakin wasn't just a powerful Force sensitive. He was the prophesied chosen one, destined to bring balance to the Force. His unwavering belief in Anakin's destiny, even in the face of Council skepticism, showcased his ability to see what others could not. Qui-Gon's mentorship style was as unorthodox as his philosophy. Training Obi-Wan Kenobi was a dynamic partnership of differing ideals. Obi-Wan, loyal to the Jedi Order's traditions, often found himself at odds with his master's more fluid approach. Yet their bond was one of mutual respect. Qui-Gon challenged Obi-Wan to think independently, a lesson that would ultimately prepare him for the trials that lay ahead. When Qui-Gon discovered Anakin on Tatooine, he placed his trust in the boy's potential, advocating for him despite the Council's hesitation. Though he didn't live to train Anakin himself, his guidance shaped the way Obi-Wan approached his own role as a teacher, ensuring that Qui-Gon's belief in the Chosen One endured even after his death. Qui-Gon's missions often took him to the edges of diplomacy and danger. His efforts to protect Queen Amidala during the Trade Federation crisis on Naboo showcased both his courage and his ability to navigate the complexities of galactic politics. It was during this mission that he first encountered Anakin Skywalker, a meeting that would alter the galaxy's trajectory forever. His final mission brought him face to face with Darth Maul, the first Sith Lord seen in a millennium. The duel, fought with ferocious intensity, ended in tragedy when Qui-Gon fell to Maul's blade. Even in death, his conviction never wavered. With his last breath, he tasked Obi-Wan with training Anakin, entrusting the future of the Jedi to the one he believed could bring balance to the Force. Qui-Gon's connection to the Force transcended his physical life. Before his death, he had sought out ancient teachings from the Force priestesses, uncovering the path to immortality. Though his training in these techniques was incomplete, he became the first Jedi to maintain his consciousness after death, guiding his allies as a Force spirit. His influence extended far beyond his lifetime. Both Yoda and Obi-Wan would later learn these secrets, preserving Qui-Gon's teachings and passing them on to future generations. His voice, calm and resolute, continued to echo through the Force, aiding the Jedi during their darkest moments. Qui-Gon-Jinn's impact reached far beyond his time as a Jedi Master. He shaped the lives of Obi-Wan Kenobi, Anakin Skywalker, and even Yoda, setting the stage for the galaxy's greatest struggles and triumphs. His belief in the living Force inspired a generation of Jedi to question, to adapt, and to trust in the mysteries of the Force. The enduring lessons he left behind remind us that the greatest wisdom often lies in the simplest truths: to act with compassion, to trust one's instincts, and to remain grounded in the present. For Qui-Gon-Jinn, the Force was not just a guide, it was a partner, one that he followed with unwavering faith until the very end. Quinlan Vos was not your typical Jedi. Standing at 6 feet 3 inches, with yellow facial tattoos marking his Kifar heritage, he was as much a shadow as he was a light in the galaxy. Known for his unorthodox methods and willingness to bend the rules, Vos operated on the fringes of the Jedi Order, where the line between right and wrong often blurred. But it was precisely in those gray areas that his unique skills shined brightest. From his unmatched ability to read memories through objects, a rare Force power known as psychometry, to his willingness to work undercover in the galaxy's criminal underworld, Vos was a Jedi who could do what others wouldn't. This made him a vital asset during the tumultuous years of the Clone Wars and beyond, even as his methods often drew raised eyebrows from the Jedi Council. Vos's psychometric abilities set him apart from his peers. By touching an object, he could sense its history, glimpsing the people who had interacted with it and the emotions tied to those moments. This skill made him an unparalleled tracker, capable of finding leads and uncovering truths others would overlook. It also made him a Jedi acutely aware of the emotional currents that flowed through the galaxy, a gift that was both a blessing and a burden. Combined with his natural agility and raw combat skills, Vos was a dangerous opponent on the battlefield. His mastery of the Force extended beyond combat, though. He was equally adept at undercover work, often blending seamlessly into the criminal underworld to gather intelligence or disrupt dangerous plots. Whether wielding a lightsaber or using his wits, Vos was a Jedi who thrived under pressure. Though his approach to Jedi teachings was unconventional, Vos was a devoted mentor to his Padawan, Aayla Secura. Under his guidance, Aayla became one of the Order's most capable Jedi, mastering both the physical and spiritual aspects of her training. Their bond was strong, built on mutual trust and respect, and it reflected Vos's ability to see the potential in those who others might overlook. Vos also formed a deep friendship with Obi-Wan Kenobi, despite their differences in personality. While Kenobi adhered strictly to the Jedi Code, Vos was often willing to break it if he believed the ends justified the means. Their partnership during the hunt for Zero the Hutt showcased their contrasting styles, but it also highlighted their ability to complement each other when the stakes were high. Quinlan Vos's life was defined by his willingness to tread where others feared to go. This willingness to confront the darker aspects of the galaxy eventually led him to Count Dooku. In an effort to assassinate the Sith Lord during the Clone Wars, Vos went undercover and infiltrated Dooku's inner circle, but the mission came at a cost. Seduced by the dark side, Vos briefly became Dooku's apprentice, wrestling with the conflict between his Jedi training and the allure of power. It was during this time that he formed a complex relationship with Asajj Ventress, a former Sith-turned-bounty hunter. Together, they navigated the murky waters of loyalty, betrayal, and redemption. Ventress's influence played a pivotal role in helping Vos return to the light, proving that even in the darkest moments, compassion could lead the way back. Quinlan Vos's list of missions reads like a chronicle of the galaxy's most dangerous and daring operations. His time spent undercover in the criminal underworld took him to places few Jedi dared to go, gathering intelligence and disrupting threats before they could reach the Republic. On Ryloth, he worked alongside Secura to free Twi'lek slaves, and on Dathomir, he confronted his own demons while seeking to dismantle the Sith's influence. During the Clone Wars, Vos fought on the front lines and behind the scenes, using his unique skills to turn the tide of battle. He played a key role in the defense of Kashyyyk, coordinating efforts to protect the Wookiee homeworld from separatist forces. His resourcefulness and adaptability made him a Jedi who could be relied upon, no matter the circumstances. The fall to the dark side left a mark on Vos, but it didn't define him. Through the influence of Ventress and his own inner strength, he found a way to return to the light. This journey of redemption wasn't just about overcoming the pull of the dark side. It was about confronting the choices that had led him there and finding a way to move forward. Vos's ability to bridge the gap between light and dark became a defining aspect of his character. He understood better than most the dangers of extremism and the importance of balance. This understanding shaped his actions during and after the Clone Wars, as he worked to protect others from the fate he had nearly succumbed to. When Order 66 swept through the galaxy, wiping out most of the Jedi, Vos was among the few who managed to survive. His skills in stealth and subterfuge, honed over years of undercover work, became his greatest assets as he evaded the Empire's relentless pursuit. But survival wasn't enough for Vos. Even as the galaxy fell into darkness, he continued to help others, aiding surviving Jedi and ensuring their escape from Imperial forces. Quinlan Vos was never one to follow the beaten path, and it was this defiance that defined his legacy. While his methods often drew criticism, they also highlighted the importance of adaptability and intuition in a galaxy rife with unpredictability. His life was a testament to the idea that the Force is vast, and that there is no single way to serve it. From his mentorship of Aayla Secura to his redemption from the dark side, Vos's journey was one of growth, loss, and resilience. He lived in the shadows of the Jedi Order, but his impact reached far and wide, influencing both those he worked with and those he fought against. In a time of great upheaval, he showed that even the most unorthodox Jedi could leave a mark on the galaxy. Quinlan Vos's ability to navigate the light and dark sides of the Force without losing himself speaks to the strength of his character. He wasn't a Jedi bound by tradition or restrained by fear of failure. Instead, he embodied the courage to take risks, to confront difficult truths, and to find redemption even in the most dire circumstances. For those who knew him, his actions served as a reminder that the Force flows through all things, and that even in darkness, there is always the potential for light. Yaddle is one of the most intriguing and underestimated figures in Jedi history. Born around 509 BBY, her life spanned nearly 5 centuries, making her a living archive of the galaxy's struggles and triumphs. Known for her quiet strength and remarkable mastery of the Force, she served on the Jedi High Council during some of the Republic's most critical moments. Despite her small stature, Yaddle's impact on the Jedi Order and the galaxy was immense, leaving behind a legacy that continues to inspire. Standing just 2 feet tall, Yaddle was immediately recognizable. Her bright green skin, piercing green-gold eyes, and distinctive auburn hair, worn in long plaits, set her apart from her peers. She bore a resemblance to Yoda, though her features were softer, and her demeanor, though wise, radiated an approachable warmth. Despite her size, her presence commanded respect, a testament to the depth of her knowledge and strength. Yaddle's connection to the Force was nothing short of extraordinary. Her skill set included some of the rarest and most ancient Force techniques, setting her apart even among the greatest Jedi Masters. She was a master of Morikro, an ancient ability that allowed her to slow the bodily functions of enemies, incapacitating them without causing harm. The power exemplified her approach to the Force, precise, thoughtful, and deeply aligned with the Jedi ideals of non-violence. Beyond this, Yaddle excelled in Force telekinesis, mind influence, and pain suppression. Her lightsaber combat was as precise as her Force abilities, often paired with advanced acrobatic techniques that turned her small stature into an advantage. On the battlefield, she was a whirlwind of agility and control, blending skill with wisdom to outmaneuver her foes. As a teacher, Yaddle was almost unparalleled. She believed in nurturing the potential of Jedi younglings while teaching them to recognize their own limitations. Her philosophy emphasized balance, acknowledging weaknesses as opportunities for growth and tempering ambition with patience. Among her most notable students were Oppo Rancisis, who later joined the Jedi Council, and Jaro Tapal, known for his bravery and mentorship of Jedi during the Clone Wars. Her ability to instill confidence in her students while grounding them in reality made her one of the most respected mentors of her time. During the High Republic era, Yaddle's leadership and combat skills were tested on numerous occasions. In the infamous Night of Sorrow in 382 BBY, she defended the Republic against the destructive path of the Open Hand cult. While protecting her young student, Sipa Tarko, Yaddle showcased her unparalleled combat prowess, balancing her role as a fierce protector with her nurturing instincts. Her actions during this time solidified her reputation as a Jedi who could adapt to any challenge while embodying the core ideals of the Order. Yaddle's wisdom earned her a place on the Jedi High Council, where her voice carried significant weight in debates about the galaxy's future. She was present during some of the Jedi Order's most pivotal moments, including Qui-Gon-Jinn's revelation of the Sith's return and the discovery of Anakin Skywalker. While many doubted Qui-Gon's claims about the Sith, Yaddle believed him, recognizing the growing darkness threatening the galaxy. Following the Battle of Naboo, Yaddle stepped down from the Council, a decision shrouded in mystery. Some speculated it was due to her desire to focus on mentoring young Jedi, while others believed she foresaw the storm brewing within the Republic. Yaddle's final act of bravery came when she uncovered Count Dooku's alliance with Darth Sidious. Determined to confront him, she followed Dooku to the Works, a shadowy industrial sector on Coruscant. There, she attempted to reach the man he had once been, offering him a chance at redemption. Her compassion, even in the face of betrayal, highlighted the strength of her character. The confrontation escalated into a lightsaber duel. Despite her mastery of the Force and exceptional combat skills, Dooku's raw power and the dark side's influence proved overwhelming. Yaddle fell in battle, her death marking Dooku's final step into darkness and symbolizing the beginning of the Jedi Order's decline. Though her life ended in tragedy, Yaddle's legacy endured. Her teachings and philosophies continued to influence the Jedi who came after her, including Grease Dritus, who spoke of her with admiration, and Yoda, who often reflected on her wisdom in his later years. She even appeared in Darth Vader's Force visions, a haunting reminder of the Jedi Order's greatness and loss. Yaddle's death was more than a loss for the Jedi. It was a turning point in the galaxy's history. Her willingness to face darkness with compassion, even at great personal cost, remains a powerful testament to the ideals the Jedi sought to uphold. Yaddle was far more than a mysterious figure in the Jedi Council's history. She embodied the balance between wisdom and strength, nurturing the next generation while confronting the galaxy's greatest threats. Her nearly 500 years of life were a testament to perseverance, compassion, and the enduring power of the light. Even after her death, her influence rippled across the galaxy, a quiet reminder of what the Jedi Order stood for in its finest moments. Pong Krell stands as one of the darkest stains on the Jedi Order's history. Once a powerful Jedi Master, he descended into treachery, becoming infamous for his cruelty and betrayal during the Clone Wars. With the highest clone casualty rate of any Republic general, Krell's name became synonymous with distrust and destruction. His story is a chilling reminder of how even the most skilled Jedi can fall prey to ambition and the dark side. Standing an imposing 7 feet 9 inches tall, Pong Krell was a basilisk, a four-armed species native to Ojom. His physiology made him a formidable opponent, allowing him to wield 2 double-bladed lightsabers simultaneously. The unique design of his weapons, which folded at the center, gave him unparalleled versatility in combat. Despite his massive frame, Krell was shockingly agile, using Force-enhanced acrobatics to overwhelm his enemies. His abilities extended beyond lightsaber combat. His devastating Force pushes, enhanced voice projection, and prophetic visions made him a daunting presence both on and off the battlefield. These skills, combined with his towering physique, created an aura of invincibility that few dared to challenge. Before the Clone Wars, Pong Krell was celebrated as a tactical genius, earning the rank of Jedi Master after a string of battlefield victories. However, his methods were ruthless, often prioritizing victory at the expense of his troops. This approach resulted in high casualty rates, particularly among the clone troopers under his command. Even in his early career, Krell displayed a troubling disdain for clones, viewing them as expendable assets rather than individuals. His lack of interest in training Jedi and his increasing distance from traditional Jedi values hinted at a growing darkness within him, though few recognized it at the time. Krell's descent into the dark side began with a vision. He foresaw the Jedi Order's destruction and the Republic's collapse, a prophecy that filled him with bitterness and despair. Instead of seeking to prevent these outcomes, Krell chose to align with the dark side, seeing it as a path to personal power and survival. Believing the Jedi Code to be obsolete, he secretly worked to sabotage the Republic's war efforts. His ultimate goal was to become Count Dooku's apprentice, though he kept his true allegiance hidden as he plotted his betrayal from within the Order. The shadowy world of Umbara became the stage for Krell's ultimate treachery. Initially supporting Jedi Generals Obi-Wan Kenobi, Saesee Tiin, and Anakin Skywalker, Krell's role was limited to providing air support. However, when Coruscant recalled Skywalker, Krell was given command of the legendary 501st Legion. From the moment he assumed command, Krell made his disdain for clones abundantly clear. Referring to Captain Rex only by his identification number, CT-7567, he dismissed the tactical experience and humanity of his troops. What followed was a series of disastrous and deliberate decisions designed to sow chaos and death. Under Krell's leadership, the 501st was subjected to brutal and unnecessary tactics. He ordered a frontal assault on the Umbaran capital via the most heavily defended route, ignoring safer alternatives proposed by his officers. The result was catastrophic. Countless clones lost their lives in a senseless bloodbath. When faced with requests for retreat or reinforcements, Krell flatly denied them. In one instance, he forced his troops into a deadly ravine under heavy fire, turning what should have been a tactical victory into another massacre. His orders increasingly revealed a pattern of disregard for the lives of his soldiers. One of Krell's most infamous actions was his assault on an Umbaran airbase. Rejecting the stealth tactics suggested by Captain Rex and his men, Krell demanded a high-risk frontal attack. After the clones successfully captured the base, he forbade them from using the captured Umbaran ships, forcing them to march directly into missile range instead. This deliberate cruelty eroded the morale of the 501st, as many began to suspect their general's true intentions. Even among the most disciplined troopers, Krell's leadership created an atmosphere of confusion and mistrust. Krell's disdain for clones reached its peak when he ordered the execution of Fives and Jesse, two troopers who had questioned his orders. He fabricated false intelligence claiming the enemy was using clone armor as a disguise, deliberately tricking the 501st and 212th Battalions into fighting each other. The ensuing friendly fire incident caused devastating casualties on both sides. As his satisfaction with the clones' suffering became evident, it was clear to Captain Rex and his men that their general had betrayed them. Krell's mask of loyalty had slipped, revealing the darkness that had consumed him. With the lives of his men at stake, Captain Rex took a stand. Rallying the 501st and 212th, he led a rebellion against Krell, confronting him in the command center. Krell, now fully unmasked as a dark side sympathizer, attacked with ferocity, wielding his double-bladed lightsabers with devastating effect. Despite their courage, the clones were no match for Krell's overwhelming power. He escaped into the Umbaran wilderness, using his agility and the shadowy environment to hunt down clone search parties. It was Trooper Tup who finally trapped him, using a native Vixus creature to subdue the rogue general. Once captured, Krell revealed his allegiance to the dark side, admitting his desire to serve Dooku. He mocked his captors, showing no remorse for the lives he had taken. When the clones debated his fate, Trooper Dogma, overwhelmed by Krell's betrayal, shot him with Five's blaster. Though Dogma faced arrest for his actions, many of his fellow troopers saw the act as necessary justice. Krell's death brought an end to his reign of terror, but it left a deep scar on the 501st and the Jedi's relationship with their troops. Pong Krell's actions on Umbara stand as a grim warning about the seductive power of the dark side. His fall from grace revealed how ambition and despair could corrupt even the most powerful Jedi. By betraying the clones who trusted him, Krell not only caused untold suffering, but also deepened the cracks forming within the Jedi Order and the Republic. His legacy is one of destruction, a cautionary tale of what happens when the ideals of the Jedi are abandoned. In the Jedi Temple, Dooku excelled. He was placed in the Hawkbat clan, where he trained alongside other younglings, including Sifo Dyas. From the start, he distinguished himself as an exceptional student. Under the guidance of Master Terra Sinube, Dooku demonstrated remarkable focus and discipline, mastering Force techniques and lightsaber forms with an intensity unmatched by his peers. Despite his brilliance, he kept a distance from his fellow younglings, preferring solitary study over camaraderie. The exception was Sifo Dyas, with whom he formed a strong bond. This friendship, based on mutual respect and shared ambition, would later shape both of their fates in profound ways. At the age of 12, a pivotal moment changed the trajectory of Dooku's life. During a festival on Sereno, he accompanied Jedi Masters on a diplomatic visit to his home world. For the first time, he met his siblings, Jensa and Ramil, and learned the truth of his abandonment. The revelation that his father had rejected him left a deep scar, but it also ignited a sense of curiosity about his heritage. While he remained committed to the Jedi Order, he began secretly communicating with his sister, Jensa. This clandestine relationship planted the seeds of his future views on family and duty, as well as his eventual questioning of the Jedi's detachment from such bonds. Chosen as a Padawan by none other than Grand Master Yoda, Dooku's potential seemed limitless. Under Yoda's tutelage, he became one of the most skilled lightsaber duelists of his generation. His curved hilt lightsaber, which allowed for an elegant and precise combat style, became his signature. Yet even as a Padawan, he showed signs of questioning the Jedi Order's methods. Dooku often challenged Yoda's teachings, engaging in philosophical debates about the nature of the Force and the Jedi's role in the galaxy. Despite this, his bond with Yoda remained strong, built on mutual respect and admiration. Dooku's ascension to Jedi Master was inevitable. As one of the Order's finest swordsmen, his dueling abilities became legendary, setting a standard for Jedi combat training. Beyond his prowess with a lightsaber, he displayed a keen mind for politics and diplomacy, earning respect across the galaxy. He trained several Padawans during his time as a master, most notably Rael Averross and Qui-Gon-Jinn. Both reflected aspects of their teacher's philosophy. Rael embraced Dooku's pragmatic approach, while Qui-Gon inherited his master's tendency to question authority and follow the living Force. These relationships highlighted Dooku's role as both a mentor and a visionary. Dooku was known for his patient yet demanding teaching style. He pushed his students to think critically and independently, often challenging them to see beyond the surface of political and galactic events. His bond with Qui-Gon-Jinn was particularly deep, as both shared a desire to explore the deeper mysteries of the Force. Unlike many Jedi, Dooku encouraged his students to question the status quo. He believed that blind adherence to tradition could lead to stagnation, a belief that would later drive a wedge between him and the Jedi Council. As a teacher, he left a lasting impact on his students, shaping their perspectives and strengthening their resolve. As the years passed, cracks began to form in Dooku's faith in the Jedi Order. His experiences in the Senate revealed widespread corruption, and he became increasingly frustrated with the Council's reluctance to confront these issues. The Jedi's role as peacekeepers, in his view, was being compromised by their entanglement in politics. Dooku's doubts were further fueled by the Jedi's detachment from personal connections, a philosophy that clashed with his growing appreciation for his Sereno heritage. Though he remained outwardly loyal, his internal struggle deepened, and the seeds of his eventual departure began to take root. During his time with the Jedi Order, Dooku was a paragon of wisdom and strength. His teachings influenced countless Jedi, and his combat techniques became a cornerstone of their training. He was respected not only for his skill, but also for his vision, which, even in disagreement, challenged the Jedi to think critically about their purpose. While his later fall to the dark side overshadowed much of his legacy, those who trained under him remembered the noble Jedi he once was. His emphasis on questioning authority and seeking deeper truths left a mark that persisted long after his departure from the Order. The path that led Count Dooku to darkness began in his earliest years, but it was not inevitable. His brilliance, compassion, and unwavering desire to understand the galaxy's complexities made him a remarkable Jedi. However, his disillusionment with the Order's limitations and the Republic's corruption drove him down a tragic road. The noble ideals of his youth make his eventual fall all the more striking, serving as a poignant reminder of how even the brightest lights can be consumed by shadow.